Welcome, everybody. We are so thrilled that you're with us today. Let's start off with a question. Did you wake up today and say, gosh, I would really love to own a painting franchise? Probably not. Look, a painting franchise probably isn't the typical business you think of owning when you think of investing in a franchise. However, when you learn about That One Painter today, our featured franchise, you're likely going to be raising your hand, clamoring to know more.
Welcome to What's Your Next. This is the go-to podcast for aspiring business owners who want to get to the next level, escape the rat race, and give their middle finger to the corporate 9-to-5. If you want financial freedom, work-life balance, and the business of your dreams, you're in the right place. Dave and Stacy Riska, husband-wife franchising duo, openly share their successes, failures, and lessons learned in franchising, business ownership, and working with your spouse.
Hi, I'm Stacy Riska, and I'm joined today by my husband and business partner, Dave Riska. We're your expert franchise matchmakers, here to help you do what you love what you do in a business that's a perfect match for you. Our featured guest today is Amy Lane, who is the Director of Franchise Development with That One Painter. I nickname her the Energizer Bunny because she has such passion and energy, not just for this topic, That One Painter, but franchising in general. So I know you guys are going to learn a lot from her and really take advantage of her spirit and passion. In the next 30 minutes, you're going to learn about a franchise that's simple, profitable, and even does your call center and marketing for you. So I know you're excited to learn more, and we're thrilled you're with us today.
Well, first off, thank you so much, both of you, Stacy and Dave. I've actually had the pleasure to meet both Stacy and Dave in person. We're not too far from each other, so we're going to have to grab another coffee sometime soon. But thank you, everyone, for being on today's call. Thank you to those who will listen to this after. I'm super excited to be a part of this journey with you today. Can everyone see my screen share okay? Okay, awesome. Getting some head nods. So, Stacy, hopefully I live up to your expectation of the Energizer Bunny. I want to bring you guys some energy today. I'm super excited to talk with everyone about That One Painter. So let's get into it. If I can change my screens here, our story. So this is our founder, Stephen Montgomery. He's our CEO and founder. He started That One Painter back in 2011. He was That One Painter. So his dad used to be a painter, so he dusted off his dad's old painting equipment. His mom was in real estate. He quit his job and decided, you know what? I'm gonna do this thing. So he had one job on the books, grabbed his dad's old painting equipment, made connections through his mom's real estate connections, and started forming this amazing business. So it took a lot of grit. It took a lot of tenacity to get to the point where he is today, and the point that That One Painter's at today. But we started franchising in 2021. We now are the fastest growing painting franchise in the nation. And to weave a little bit of my story into this, prior to coming over to Resi Brands, I was actually a supplier in the franchise industry. So I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of different franchise brands, meet a lot of different franchise founders, and had the opportunity to meet Stephen 2 years ago, back in 2021, at an emerging franchise conference, right as him and Alan, our co-founder, were starting to franchise the business. They didn't have any franchisees at the time, but something stood out to me about the way Stephen and Alan talked about their goal, their vision of building this painting empire. And it was all tied back to support. To me, that is so crucial in being involved in a franchise system that supports you every step of the way. So hopefully you'll see that in today's presentation. What we care about most is having the happiest franchise partners. So you can award as many franchise territories out there, but if they're not supported and if they're not happy, then our business isn't happy. And so I'm here to talk to you guys about That One Painter, but we also are under the parent or platform company of Resi Brands. So we have two other brands underneath the portfolio, which are Garage Up and Pink's Window Services. But as mentioned, let's focus today on That One Painter and how we've become the fastest growing painting franchise out there. So we have a low upfront investment. Being in home service, you don't need a storage location. You don't need an office. So we have that low upfront investment with that high potential. So we build out each territory to have multi-million-dollar revenue potential. Just to give you a bit of insight into what a territory consists of, it's a minimum of 200,000 population, but we look at about 15 to 18 other different factors that go into creating our territories, such as rent versus buy, medium household income, how many Sherwin-Williams are in the area, which is our national partnership, even how many Starbucks are in the area. That gives us a good kind of depiction of what the area looks like. Support. So you'll see bottom right here, ridiculous support. We love to use the word ridiculous at Resi Brands. And that's because we want you all as potential franchise partners to be going to your friends and your family and saying, this is ridiculous. The amount of support is ridiculous. They're always touching base. They always are here for us. We never want the opposite. We don't want you to feel like you're on an island. We don't want you to feel like you're swimming without any, life raft or anything like that. And part of that support is our in-house marketing and scheduling. So I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about that. And then a couple other pieces that help us stand out. We're a mission-minded business committed to giving back. We look for franchise partners that are excited about this as well. So I'll tell you some ways we do that today. Also, we have an owner investor option. This is really exciting. I saw on that poll earlier, a lot of you on today's call have full-time jobs. That's okay. We have a lot of owners that are still in their full-time job that want an investment to continue to grow their legacy and for their family doing something on the side. So I'll tell you guys about our investor option today. And we're a fun and vibrant brand. So we have fun with what we do, and hopefully you see that in today's presentation. So I already mentioned fastest growing painting franchise. We have over 243 locations sold today, or territories, I should say, sold today across the United States. And we have the team to support the locations, the territories that we're bringing on. We actually have a team of 60 in-house, and that's growing consistently as we continue to bring on more owners. But let's talk about the services. So we have 18 different services or streams of revenue for you as a potential franchise partner. Of course, your interior and exterior painting. All the services that we do at That One Painter are tied around paint. So you'll see carpentry, caulking, things like that. They're light services that we do, light handyman services, so that the focus can really be paint. A couple key services to call out: lime washing and masonry flat. Those are two of our more unique services. They're ways of painting brick. Brick technically can't be painted. It needs to breathe, or it shouldn't be painted. You can learn more than you need to know about these services on our Paint Talk YouTube channel. Our co-founders do this little paint talk, and they talk about different services and products and whatnot. So feel free to check that out. The other two services I like to call out are the sell ready and commercial services. We encourage each of our franchise partners in each territory to have at least 100 referral partners. A huge chunk of those referral partners are real estate agents. So you could partner with a real estate agent, go in, do a nice sell ready service, which maybe consists of interior paint in this room, light caulking over here, maybe a deck stain on the outside. They sell that property, and then you can follow with that buyer once they buy their new home. They may say, oh, this red wall in here, it's driving me crazy. Can you guys come in? So you have that network. And then commercial services. So we are residential. We have a residential focus, but we also do commercial work as well. The main key thing to call out here is that there are commercial jobs out there that just point blank are not going to be profitable for you as a potential owner, and we want you to stay away from those jobs. So when it comes to coaching, training, support, we'll help advise you as far as which jobs you should get your hands in and which we believe that you shouldn't. And so for time's sake today, I'm going to skip through this franchisee testimonial, but Stacy will send this out afterwards so you can take a chance to look through that. So let's get into the numbers. This is exciting. So this is pulled out of our FDD. So as you guys saw earlier, we have been growing rapidly, but the numbers that are in here today are from the locations, the 6 locations that had a full calendar year in 2022. Couple pieces to call out. Location 1 consists of 3 territories. This is our corporate location. We now have over 16 territories corporately, but these are 3 of them shown here from that 2022 numbers. And then locations 2 through 6 are all franchised locations. A big thing that is often asked is what's the difference? What's the variance between location 2 and location 6, right? Which, by the way, location 6, that's still a great number for first year revenue. But the key thing here was location 2 came in, they were hungry, had grit, and followed the system. When we gave advice, they took that advice, they followed the system to a T. And so to average that out, AUV by location, a little over $1 million at 1.3, by territory, a little shy of $1 million at 987,000. So we're really excited about those numbers and looking forward to continuing to see those numbers as our franchise partners continue to increase. Let's talk about our support. So Resi Creative is our in-house marketing agency. Couple reasons that we've brought this in-house. A lot of our competitors in the home service industry use the same outsource marketing agency, which is great in its own right, not downplaying that, but as many of you guys have probably experienced, whether it's with your corporate job or if you've started a business or anything like that, if you want different results, you want to do things differently than your competitors out there. So we've brought in our own in-house full-time videographers, photographers, social media specialists, SEO specialists that are working for you on the digital side. The other piece to this is that the buck stops with us. So there's going to be questions, there's going to be changes, challenges with Google and the social platforms that are out there. We want to be able to work with you hand in hand to say, hey, Stacy, you have this question or this challenge. Let's solve that together rather than having to say, we'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days, depending on when we hear an answer. So we like to work closely with our owners. Content is king. So if you're not out there on social as a business, you need to be out there. Our goal is to be the home service brand with the most content out there. So we are on all forms of social media. Feel free to follow us and go down a rabbit hole after today's conversation. But what happens to those leads when they come in, whether it's Angie's, Thumbtack, Yelp, Facebook? They go to our Resi Connect Center. This is our appointment booking center that we have in-house. The reason I don't call this just a call center is because they're more than just order takers. These individuals are incentive-driven, commission-driven sales reps that think with that owner-type mentality. They're hungry to be booking these estimates on your calendars. And so they are following up multiple touch points. I believe it's 21 touch points that they're doing. We also have an AI tool that we use in addition in tandem with this team to make sure that those leads are followed up with and booked on your calendars. Top-notch training. So we have tons of training and we want to make it fun and interactive rather than slapping a huge booklet of 300 pages on your desk saying, here you go, figure it out. We'll see you next year. That is not what we want to do. Like I've mentioned, we're hands-on. We provide you with 70 plus hours of online training on our training platform that we use called Trainual. So this is desktop and mobile version. You can be doing it on the go. And there's videos and interactive content. Once you've then completed that, you come out to Austin, which is where our corporate headquarters is, for a 3-day training boot camp. Just so you know, in the investor model, there's an additional piece or component here for the regional director role, which I'll talk about in a second. There's an additional training, which is a 2-week immersive internship at our corporate locations in Austin. So they really get their hands dirty, get to feel the business and get that experience. And then following up to that, we assign each franchise partner with a success coach. You have weekly one-on-ones, group training, etc. And we also have a partnership with John C. Maxwell. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with John here, but he's a leadership coach, mentor, speaker. Stephen, our founder, idolizes John. And he reads this book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, twice a year. And wanted John to come out to our annual convention. Schedules didn't work out, so they filmed something. After they filmed something, John said, "Hey, give me your personal cell phone number." Calls Stephen the next day and says, "Look, I don't do this for many brands. I've done this for Chick-fil-A, but I want to be your all's personal brand coach slash mentor." So John meets with our franchise partners over Zoom once a month for basically a leadership masterclass. It's really awesome. We look for franchise partners who are excited about this, who are excited about continued learning and growth. And we also want to provide those tools that are more unique for our franchise partners, continuing to find different ways to help out. Speaking of helping out in the community, we have a local Paint It Forward program where we paint a home for free in Austin at our corporate location in partnership with Sherwin-Williams. And we look for franchise partners who are excited about this. We've actually had some recently do this as their first job. Totally not required, but pretty fun and exciting that people are getting into it and making a splash in their community. We also do an abroad program where a portion of our corporate profits go to foreign missions. That money supports Bible schools, orphans, business classes. So Stephen over here and Alan on the far right, our co-founder, really believe in this and are super excited about it, and just looking for people who are excited to participate in giving back. If I'm able to change my slides there. So what's it going to take? Three different ways of operating, as Stacy mentioned earlier, depending on where you are in your kind of career at this standpoint, we have options for you. We have the owner operator, which is one unit, aka one territory. This is where you are managing the day-to-day operations from home. Again, none of these options need an office, need a storage space, anything like that. None of these options do we require you to pick up a paintbrush or have painting experience. No worries there. But in the owner-operator model, you are the quasi-estimator and project manager. So you're going out, you're becoming the mayor of paint in your town, in your territory. Connecting with those 100 referral partners that we talked about earlier. And then you're bringing on subcontractors as the actual painting crew. We believe in having about 15 or so on deck to have that Rolodex. Yes, there will be times where painters don't do the best job. The good news is you have a Rolodex of painters. You'll swap in that crew. You'll make right with that customer because we believe in being the best house guest, and that's how we treat all of our customers with that one painter. Owner director, this is for 2 to 7 units. So this is someone who's looking for, maybe you have something going right now and you want something part-time, 15 to 20 hours a week. And this is where you bring in a location manager from day one. So each location, let's say you have 3 territories, you would bring in a location manager for each of those territories. That location manager then becomes that quasi estimator slash project manager. And then option 3, owner investor. So this is where people are getting really excited when they want to keep doing what they're currently doing, don't have the time, but have the care to give. So this is around 5 to 10 hours a week. And you bring in a regional director from day one. Resi Brands helps you to find, source, interview, and hire that regional director role. Of course, at the end of the day, it's your business. You're the owner, so you get the final say, but we have a lot of input into this RD role. Underneath that individual then are those location managers and subcontractors, so on. So hopefully that makes sense. Getting into the estimated initial investment as we're wrapping up here, the estimated initial investment is around $85,750 to $116 for one territory. If we're thinking through, maybe you are thinking the investor model sounds appealing to me, it's around $510,000, calculating out the discounts for the initial franchise fee as you add territories and calculating in the RD salary. So, of course, you can find more information in our FDD on these numbers, but let's talk about the results. A growing business that you'll love, fully trained employees, because Resi Brands is doing that kind of bulk work for you there. Plenty of time with friends, family, a legacy business that enables you to be flexible and to grow your legacy for you, your family, and have that freedom that everyone is so wanting. So we believe we have the best culture, the best team. That's what really sets us apart, is our culture. And we look forward to hopefully talking to you. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and Stacy and Dave for letting me share here. I'll stop my screen share and hand it back over.
Wonderful. Thank you, Amy, so much. This is so inspiring. And please, as you're thinking about, put your questions in the chat or raise your hand and we can unmute you if you want to ask your question live. Let me make sure I've kind of grabbed back control. Yep. Okay. So many reasons I love this concept. And Dave and I, we see a lot of franchises. We talk to a lot of franchises. Pop quiz for everybody. How many are there? Well, hint, that's how many there are, more than 4,000. So there's not many that get the high accolades from Dave and I, but that one painter is one of them, especially with their done-for-you services, because people are sometimes hesitant to get into franchising because they're thinking, oh, I don't want to do the marketing. I'm not a marketer. I just want to be great at what I do. This allows you to do that. And those of you who check the box for I want freedom, we all want freedom, this gives you that. There's no way if you're going to go out and start a painting business, you're going to be an expert in all the things that one painter does. They have the relationships. They're going to give you the training, the support, the done for you, the website, the call center, the social media. Oh my God, this is like so amazing. All right. So Amy, I know a common question that Dave and I are always asked, because we work with a lot of veterans. Is there a veteran discount or any other discounts anybody on the call should be aware of?
Yes, there absolutely is. We have a 10% discount off our initial franchise fee for veterans, as well as first responders, real estate agents, and clergy, as well as young entrepreneurs under 30.
Ooh.
Yeah, kind of a different one. We want to bring in some young energy and yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so any questions, put those in the chat or raise your hand. And I will ask one more question that we're commonly asked, Amy, which is how do I say? Explain to us who makes a successful operator? What makes a successful franchisee in your system? What qualities and characteristics should they have?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that depending on the way of operation, it can change a little bit. But in general, overarchingly, people that have grit, that is huge. Two things that we believe in, two of our core values are excellence and kindness. So doing everything you do with excellence, but doing that with kindness. And so that's something that is huge for us. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the mayor of paint, it kind of sounds funny, but I'm being serious. Someone that gets involved in the community and just is so excited to be talking about what they're doing and getting connections left and right. We talk about going into the fight with two fists. So I shared with you guys that Resi Brands does a lot of the legwork when it comes to the marketing and our Resi Connect Center and all of that kind of from the digital side and having us support. But then the other fist in the fight is having that hustle, having that grit, tenacity, being able to go out there and network and make those 100 referral partners, not be afraid to share what you're doing and be excited about it. Or if you're in that investor model, hiring the right people that will then be that advocate for your brand, etc.
Wonderful. All right. So you're probably thinking, well, this sounds really interesting and exciting. I couldn't get all my questions answered today. So what's next? How can I learn more? Well, we're so glad you asked. Dave and we want to invite you to connect with us. Our contact information is there on the screen. If you'd like to learn more about that one painter, and we can pre-qualify you to get a front of the line pass, to talk to Amy, dive deeper, get your in-depth questions answered, great. Reach out to us. Grab a day and time on our calendar by going to explore.nextlevelfranchisegroup.com, explore.nextlevelfranchisegroup.com. And if you kind of went through this and you like it, but you're just not sure it's the right concept, reach out anyways. We're happy to do our matchmaking and help you ultimately find the business that may end up being the business of your dreams. All right, so I'm going to open it up one more time for any final questions. Let me check the chat real quick, make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think we're good to go.
Questions are welcome.
All right.
I'll ask one, Stacy. So
yeah, please.
All right, Amy. You show the initial investment range was from 85 to 115, I believe. What would somebody who's brand new, what would they need to get started, other than the franchise fee? I mean, what's the equipment, and what does it look like for them to get started?
Yeah, so more details in our FDD, but there's not too much to get started as far as equipment goes. The subcontractors bring their own equipment. The subcontractors come in their own van. What we do is they will need magnets for the subcontractors to just cover over anything on their van. Uniforms, so the subcontractors will show up in their painter whites, but then they'll always be wearing a That One Painter shirt that's provided by the franchise owner. Probably one of the larger expenses is the truck, so that quasi project manager estimator, whether that's you as the owner operator or one of your location managers, we do require a truck that can be leased, or you can own it outright. So that's a expense there. And then as far as kind of marketing as well, and then we have the 3 months operating expenses built into that too. Yep.
Right. So,
and then more details in the FDD if I'm missing anything. So,
so very simple,
I know that's
very simple business to get started.
Yes. Yeah. And it's around, for one territory, kind of ramp time around 60 to 90 days to get going. So this is not one of those things. I had a candidate I was talking to the other day who invested in a brick and mortar location, that franchise that never ended up even opening, just because of the real estate and what was going on. And that happens. That's the nature of it. But with us, it's really simple. As you mentioned, Dave, it's just getting trained, getting everything in line. We'll get your website set up, start to get the SEO rolling, get those connections out there so you can have a really great hit the ground running start.
Wonderful. All right, guys, so you learned about That One Painter today, a franchise that's simple, profitable, scalable, does your back office marketing and call center work. Hopefully you're inspired, you want to learn more, reach out to us. We're here to help you get your questions answered and see if it's a good match. Thanks for joining us today. Bye, everybody. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.